Isn't that the coolest walk-up song I've ever heard? How's it going, guys? I'm Josh, and you guys have been commenting so much asking me to do this, so I'm finally gonna make it happen. Today, I'm announcing my girlfriend. No, I'm just kidding. Those videos are the worst. Today, I'm gonna be showing you how to take great photos with your iPhone. I've been doing a lot of camera tutorials on DSLRs, and people are saying I don't have a DSLR, so I'm gonna show you my favorite apps for taking great photos. And while we're at it, I'm actually gonna take you into my iPhone and just show you all of my favorite apps. But we're gonna start with the photography stuff because that's what you guys have been asking for. Let's get into it. First off, welcome to my iPhone. This is a 6 Plus, and of course we got some nice stars in the background just because it's beautiful and it reminds me to go outside more. So I keep all of my favorite photography apps on the second page in this visual folder, which also has Tinder in it, just to remind you that Tinder is superficial, though I love it. Though my favorite app of all time for photography is gonna be Camera Plus, besides Instagram, of course. Camera Plus has pretty much everything you could hope for out of any sort of photography app. You can do slow shutters, which is really cool, and if you don't know what a long exposure is or a slow shutter, I have a full tutorial on it in this video over here. And even though it's directed at DSLRs, it'll explain the whole concept to you. But basically with Camera Plus, you can set a manual exposure of up to 30 seconds, which is super cool. You can do super fast shutter or super slow shutter. And then you can also mess with your ISO, your white balance. And what's really cool about this is you can have such a low ISO that you can actually do slow shutters during the day, in the midday. You just have to have a super low ISO, which is cool. So if you want to do like a drag photo, 1.5 second shutter, ISO 1. Do a little pan. You've got all these really cool features on there. You can do macro mode, which is good for close-up shots. We could do cameraception with macro mode, where I actually film my screen, filming my screen. That was wild. Another great thing you can do in this app is you can use a timer of up to 30 seconds. So if you want to take some cool selfies or anything, timers are really helpful. And I was actually experimenting with this the other day. Very fun to take selfies with a timer. More of a self-portrait if you want to pretend it's tasteful, but let's be honest, you're taking a selfie. It's funnier to call it that too. Other photography apps that are great, I used to use this slow shutter app, which is $1 in the App Store right now, and all it does is slow shutter, so I honestly think Camera Plus is better. However, if you want to save $2, this is the move. But here's the thing, I do think that it's worth spending money on good apps because you'd spend $4 on a cup of coffee without thinking, so why not spend $2 on an app you're gonna use every single day? Another favorite photography app of mine is 360, and it's this app where you can do 360 panoramas. You fill in this void and you get really cool shots just like this and this. You may have seen them on my Instagram before, and I actually have a full tutorial on how to do this, so if you want to check that out, link to it right over here. Seriously, a very, very cool app. You're gonna take some beautiful shots with this. Another fantastic app is Pro HDR, which is really great for when you want to take a photo of something really bright and something really dark at the same time, particularly sunsets. Even though the iPhone does have an HDR mode on it, I found that this one is way more effective, and it has all these settings you can mess with to make sure you get the best looking HDR. I love this app, only for sunsets though. If you're cheap and you want a longer timer on your camera for self-portraits or anything, Timer Cam is free. It does have an ad on it, but it does the trick, and it's super simple. You do a 5 through 30 second timer, and that's it. The iPhone can only do a 10-second timer, and sometimes when you want to get further away from your camera, it's nice to have a longer timer. However, you can do 30 seconds in Camera Plus, so I highly recommend you just get Camera Plus. Another must-have app is called Google Photos, and what it does is it actually sorts through all of your photos, and it lets you look at places, you can look at people, but the best setting there is things. So what it does is it actually sorts out, so I can look at all of my photos of a skateboard, and it pulls it out, and it works really, really well. And you have everything from selfies, skateboards, skylines, concerts. It can recognize mountains, beers, dogs. Really, really cool. Amazing app. If you want to organize your photos better, this pretty much does it for you. iMovie for editing videos, Flickster for finding good movies, GIF-Boom for making GIFs yourself. Boomerang is always fun. Visco is a cool one. I sometimes use it to edit photos. It has some really good filters, which is nice, but then again, so does Instagram. And it's a slick interface. I don't use it that much, but people swear by it, so definitely consider that. My favorite way to edit a photo, honestly, if I'm using iPhone editing and not Lightroom, I would go into Instagram. So I'll find a filter I like, say Juno. All right, that looks pretty good, but it's a little bit heavy, so I'll drag it down a little bit. And I have a nice, subtle, yet still beautiful filter, and then go in and touch it up, maybe bump up the contrast, bring up the shadows, whatever you want to do. I really like the Instagram editing features, but some people like Visco. You've got options. But honestly, guys, these are all very specialty apps, and I think the best move for taking photos is just using your camera. For 95% of the shots I take, I just use my iPhone camera. That is so cool. Oh, and now it's raging. And that sums up all of my photography apps. By the way, while we're on here, if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, I post a lot of nice photos and some skateboarding. Definitely check that out if you think my photos are nice. Now for the rest of my iPhone, a couple apps I want to recommend to you guys, my favorite things. So first off, there's this app called Bin, and a viewer actually recommended this to me a few months ago, and I absolutely love it. Basically, you can track where you've been in the entire world. There's a spider over there. That's cool. Oh, and actually, I haven't marked off Italy yet, so let's do that because I'm here right now. Bam. I've now been to 7% of Europe. We're making moves. Honestly though, I got this just so I could track my progress in going to every single US state because that is what I want to do so badly. Clearly, I've got a lot of road trips up ahead. Another favorite app, Duolingo, is phenomenal. I've been learning Italian with this. It's fun, it's like a game. It makes learning a new language fun, so I highly recommend that. A couple other crucial apps, Spotify is where I listen to all of my music. I have a playlist actually that I've been working on. I have a couple. I've got a rap playlist, which is sort of okay. I've got an impeccable indie playlist that I've been working on for the past few years. A lot of good stuff on there. What I've been listening to recently, Deluxe is awesome, Generationals, Run the Jewels, a little bit of Wu-Tang Killer Mike when I skate. Hooded Fang might be my favorite band. Oh, it's so dreamy. And some Fred Neil, if you want to hear some vocals from a man with a voice you want to listen to. You hear him talking, you're like, yes, I will do whatever you say, Fred Neil. We've got Snapchat, which I'm not sure if I really like, but it's a good way to communicate with you guys. WhatsApp for communicating with my Italian friends. All of my friends at the skate park all have one big group chat that I'm a part of, which is gnarly because I have to use Google Translate to actually translate what they're talking about in this group chat. So I use Translate all the time, and what's best about Google Translate is they have a photo mode where you can actually highlight something in Italian. It has saved me in so many situations at grocery stores, when I'm trying to talk with people, at restaurants, everywhere. It's amazing. Another great app is called Bootify, and I'm gonna sound so granola right now as if I'm already not, but it's really good for just meditating, and it has all these different meditations for if you're feeling stressed, if you're walking, if you're eating, if you're at home, all this good stuff. They're short meditations, they're guided, which makes it really easy, and meditating will make you a happier person, I promise. I'm testing out this like color coordinated thing right now. I'm not sure if I like it. I think it looks really good, but maybe it's not practical, so that's probably gonna go very soon. Skate Savant is fantastic. They've got skate spots in almost every single city. I don't think they have Florence, but in the US, they're killing it. Here are all the cities they have. They have Madrid. They don't have too many cities, but if you live in one of these cities, I highly recommend you get the app because they've got serious spots. Look at all these spots, infinite spots. Sky Guide is an awesome app. If you're ever trying to find the Milky Way or just any sort of astronomy stuff, you can actually use your location and it'll tell you where to look. So you can look around and oh man, it's so cool. And when it's not super starry out, but you want to find the Milky Way, really great tool for shooting stars too. Random for apps that I try not to use too much. Facebook I try to avoid. Tiny Wings is my favorite game in the entire world. I'm gonna end this with maybe my favorite app of all time, or the app I use the most, and it's the This American Life app. It's the app for my favorite podcast in the entire world. I've listened to every single This American Life for the last few years. I don't think I missed one in a long time. They are so good. It's about an hour-long podcast of just crazy, interesting stories that happen in America and around the world. Give one a listen and you won't regret it. And that just about sums it up. Be sure to leave a comment down below if you have any app recommendations for me, or if you have any apps that you downloaded because of this video that you really like. It's always nice to hear some feedback, to know what you guys are into, and when you guys recommend stuff to me is like the best thing in the entire world. I'm also gonna put links to my Spotify playlist, my Instagram, my Snapchat down below if you wanna check out my social media stuff. And I also have a website full of all my other photography tutorials. If you're interested in seeing more DSLR tutorials, definitely check that out. I've also got my full camera setup on there with reviews of all my stuff and lots more of my photos that I've taken. So definitely check out whatever interests you, or don't check out any of it. All I ask is that you subscribe for more videos. I post once or twice a week because life in Italy is fluctuating. And that is all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you eventually. Thanks for joining me on a very intimate experience through my iPhone. I think seeing someone's phone is actually pretty personal. It says a lot about someone. Like for me, you see my phone is color coordinated and you're like, wow, this guy's a real pretentious jerk, and you wouldn't be wrong. One more thing, this morning I woke up and I was planning on doing this how to shoot iPhone photos video, but I saw that Sarah Dici, this YouTuber who I really like, posted a video on what her entire iPhone is like, and I totally got inspired by that to make this video a little bit more broad. So definitely go check out her channel for awesome content, and I'll put a link to that down below. Thank you, Sarah.